Neo webinars. All right, we'll just wait for a few more people to join in. But today we're going to address an issue that has been brought up by a lot of our users time and again. We're hosting today a masterclass on how to create a floor plan. We're going to be talking about different ways of creating and uploading floor plans in Neo. Also, we're going to be discussing on how to get designing faster using our inspiration templates. Just a second, guys. All right. So to create a floor plan, let's start with what all questions do we get. So the first thing is, what do you need and how do you start about creating a floor plan? So we're going to talk about what formats does Neo accept for floor plans. What if you want to start with an AutoCAD file? If you don't have an image, if you want to work with a PDF, how do you get to creating a floor plan on Neo? How do you scale the floor plan? Sometimes you might not get your floor plan to be visible completely. And questions like, can you rotate your floor plan? So in order to create a floor plan, there are 4 different ways, right? You can trace your floor plan over an existing floor plan image using the wall and room tools. You can use files that you've created from AutoCAD, and you can use floor plans that you've exported from AutoCAD in PDF format, right? So the basic thing on Neo is that Neo accepts only JPG and .png files for uploading floor plans. Once you get from whatever file you're using to an image, what's next? Next is you have to set the scale and dimensions of your floor plan. You can resize it. You'll have to complete the edge-to-edge wall alignment. And then you can just add in doors and windows to complete the floor plan, and you can get about designing. I also have Pradyum with me here. He's our product guru. Hi, Pradyum.
Hi, Rohit.
Hi. So, Pradyum, let's take it away.
Yeah, right. So I'll just quickly share my screen. So a lot of time we get some queries regarding tracing floor plans and all. So as Rohit mentioned, what kind of file format that we accept that you can upload in Neo. So you need an image file of the floor plan. So what if you have an AutoCAD file? What if you have a PDF? So I think if you have a PDF, you can I think take a screenshot of the floor plan, or you can just there are so many converters are available on the internet. Using that, you can convert your PDF file into a JPEG or image format file through internet, or you can, if you have an AutoCAD file and you want to import that file into Neo, then you can AutoCAD by default have this conversion method by which you can directly convert DWG file into a JPEG file of the floor plan, or you can export an AutoCAD file to PDF, then convert PDF to image format file. So I will just quickly show you when you get your image format file, how you can just start with uploading the floor plan, how you can just scale the floor plan, and the best way to trace the floor plan very quickly in Neo using all the available tools. So I think let's just start by seeing that. Yeah. So I have just added my floor plan image.
Guys, so while Pradyum is doing the live demo for us, if you have any questions while he goes on, just leave your questions in the chat or the Q&A section, and we'll take it up when we pause for questions. All right.
Okay, thanks, Rohit. So as you guys can see, I just take it from start. So once you click on this button, it will ask you to choose a file. So I can just choose an image file, which is there in my computer storage. I can just click on open button. So this will land me to this screen where I can just crop the complete image set which I want to trace in Neo, or suppose I want to just trace this particular room. Normally we used to we create 3Ds of individual rooms, or if I want to create 3D of the complete floor plan, in Neo. So I can just select the complete floor plan here. As you can see, I can just use this to just exactly align. I can just zoom in, use zoom in and zoom out. Just click on next button. So once you click on next button, what you see is here is inner line size and these two dots connected with a line. So what exactly is you have to define is what's the scale of your floor plan here. So for that, you must be knowing any dimension, any dimension of the particular side or wall in the floor plan. For example, I can see my this bedroom one is like 13 feet 3 inch and 12 feet. So 13 feet 3 inch is the length and 12 feet is the width from inside to inside. So I can just align these two dots across these 2 points. So this distance is not 12 feet, which is distance between these 2 points. I can choose any 2 points and I can just define the distance between those 2 points and I can enter the distance here. Automatically Neo detects the scale of the floor plan from this information and you can just land it over to your canvas. So you can just choose a unit of this particular dimension length. So you can choose feet, millimeter, centimeter, or meter. So for my, for my case, I'm choosing feet. So you can click on done. So as you click on done, you will land on your canvas. You can see background plan mode is automatically get activated. I can just click and move the floor plan in my background plan mode into the canvas, and I can just click on the floor plan. I can rotate it using this buttons. I can delete it. I can go and edit property. In edit property, I can reconfigure the scale using modifying the width and length of the floor plan. But in my case, as the width is, the scale is perfectly fine, so I will not uh, go through with these options. So I can just change the opacity. If you think your floor plan is a little bit less visible to you when you're tracing the walls, you can just increase the opacity. Like I can make like 0.8. So you can see this has gone a bit dark, a bit more visible in the canvas. So this will be really helpful to you while you are tracing the walls. After that, when you have traced the walls, you can delete it or you can just reduce the opacity, whatever you want. So you can just quickly switch to floor plan mode to start tracing the wall. So as you guys can see, normally you have at least two different types of thickness, wall thickness in your floor plan. The one is like with load bearing, which are the outer walls, which are normally having the higher value of wall thickness, and the partition walls usually have a lesser value of wall thickness. So and we also have some used to have some columns inside that particular floor plan. So I will tell you how to use the, because if you trace the wall if you trace the wall using wall tool, then you have to change the thickness of individual wall manually, which takes a lot of effort. So I will suggest you guys to always start by predefining your wall thickness. So I will just tell you the step how to do that. So you first go to settings. You can see the option of wall thickness here. You can just enter 1 feet here. Click here 1 feet. So now my wall thickness is set to 1 feet. I can choose wall tool or room tool based on my need. Right now I'm choosing wall tool here. So I can just start tracing the walls over to it. So as you guys can see, you have to just follow the background plan that you can see. It's fairly simple. So you can see now there's in between a wall, which is I think of lesser thickness. So I will just make it as a two separate walls so that I can change the thickness of this individual wall in future. So I can just, so here also you can see this wall is of lesser thickness, but I can do it later. So here you can see there's one column in between. So what we can do, we can just make two walls here so that I can just change the individual thickness of that particular section to define my column. I can just join it back. So as you guys can see, I have traced all the walls here. I use of 1 feet thickness walls. I have traced all the walls. Now I will start tracing my partition walls. So before that, I will just quickly modify the thickness of these walls, which I've already traced. My partition walls are of 6 inches. So I'll also use the wall tool to trace this particular section of my floor plan. Okay, now I think I can switch uh, to lesser wall thickness, like 6 inches for my partition wall. Now I can start using the wall tool. So guys, sometimes you, due to snapping, you can ignore the snapping by pressing shift key. Suppose I can see the snapping lines here, but if I press shift button, I will not be getting that snapping lines, and no snapping will work. The wall snapping will go off. So I can turn off wall snapping by clicking by unchecking this box, but this will make the wall snapping permanently turn off. So for individual single operation, I can just, while I'm drawing the wall, so I can just choose the shift button. If I hold on shift key, automatically that will turn off the snapping. So that will be really useful for you if you guys avoid snapping during particular operation while tracing the walls. So right now I think I need snapping. So yeah. So I can align these walls later, after that when I have just made them. I will just follow how snapping is taking me here. So aligning the walls after they are being traced, it's quite simple and easy in Neo. I will show you that also. So just first quickly, I will just make them. So once I click it, you see it gets start. Suppose if I've done something wrong, or if I have selected the wrong node, I can stop this complete this process like by clicking on escape button. I can just click on wall tool again, then I can start again tracing. So pressing escape exit the wall tool drawing mode. So it just works like click and click. Just click. You can also enter the exact length if you want. So for example, if I can enter like 9 feet in the box, it automatically takes fit. If it's like 9 inches, so I can enter like 9 inches, or if it's feet. So by default, if I enter like 9 dash or even 9, it will automatically take feet. So, but for this case, I think we can join the walls. So you can see now walls are created. Now I think we can align the walls properly as per the layout. So I can just drag it and it's done. As you guys can see, it's fairly simple. You just have to drag the walls in the exact orientation. So now I can just click on this. So this is the wall which is showing a column. So I can just enter the width of a column, 1 feet 6 inch. So I can just now drag it up to just make it align properly. So now it's there. So once your walls are created, so you can check whether your rooms are closed or not. You don't have to leave spaces for the door and windows, because I will show you doors and windows can be placed after you have traced the walls. It's fairly simple. It automatically go inside the wall only. So I can see that my all walls are closed by clicking on the room. So this show me that this is a closed surface. So I think we have done with the tracing of walls, and also the thickness setting also we have completed. So I think, yeah. So now we can just add doors and windows to our design. So I will just quickly select some option of single door and windows from the catalog. Okay, so I think I like this design. Door. So I can just quickly search in my catalog and I can get the results immediately. You can see it's very instant. As I type, I get the result. So all those shortlisted items are now there in my shortlist section. I can just click on shortlist. I can just drag my floor plan in the canvas as per my requirement. Now I can just uh, drag and drop the door like that. As you guys can see, it's fairly simple. It's like just you are just playing around with your interior scene. I can adjust the thickness or the dimension of the door later as per my need, but I can just place them as per my floor plan. Yeah, I think all doors are placed almost. Now we can go with sliding door. I think I have sliding door here in my design. Suppose if you want, you can't see where your exactly doors and windows are. For example, in the case of door, you can see the symbol of door. Normally, in the AutoCAD file or in the floor plan file, we have a symbol of door like this. So I can easily spot the doors. But for spotting windows, I can just a bit do a drag and I can just see where my window is. So I think in here, in this case, this is my sliding door. So this is my sliding door on this side. Now I can just click here and I can just click on this width button. I can just press down key on the keyboard. It automatically reduces the dimension and you can see the live feedback here. Yeah, I think now this seems okay. So I can just drop the window. In similar way, I can just drag it up to see the exact location of my window. I can increase the dimension and I can just place it again and just drag it back. See how simple it is working with doors and windows and just playing around with the walls of your floor plan. So now I can just place a window here. So yeah, I think it's almost done. I think we can also add a ventilator for the bathroom. Yeah, I think this would work. So I can just drag and drop it. So as you guys can see, I'm done with my doors and windows. I can resize the doors and windows in 2D as well as in 3D. So I can just quickly show you how you can get the feel of this complete floor plan in 3D. You guys can see it took me almost like 5 minutes to trace a floor plan with two different wall thicknesses, some columns, and yeah, the complete tracing is done, I think, in just 5 or 6 minutes to a complete 2 BHK floor plan, which I think if you do in traditional tools, it will take you in half an hour or sometimes an hour, depending on your expertise level. But in Neo, it's fairly simple and easy. For example, as I place this ventilator here, I can just move it up in 3D. Very simple, very easy, very intuitive. Just drag these, use these arrows. Yeah, so I think this is all about tracing the floor plan. How quickly you can just trace the floor plan. I just quickly repeat the process that we have followed here. The process is fairly very simple. So basically, you just have to choose normally the outer walls are of higher thickness, the inner walls, the partition was of a lower thickness. Just choose the first, the walls. Just choose the first thickness of the wall for the outer walls. Just trace the outer walls of the floor plan first, and then choose the lesser thickness wall. Set the wall thickness, and then trace all the walls of lesser thickness. So basically by choosing this it will reduce save your time a lot, because you don't have to just go back again and click select the wall and go in edit property, change the thickness of the wall. So it's automatically be done. Yeah, so now we can move ahead to our next section, but before that we will take some questions that we have received here. So I will just quickly have a quick look.
All right. So Manu Gupta is asking, how can we use the ruler tool? Manu, the ruler tool is available right on the left-hand side of the screen, right? Pradyum will just show you how you can take measurements using the ruler tool.
Sure, right. Okay. So, ruler is basically helping you to see and check the dimensions later. So, right now, it's like, for example, if I want to measure between the distance between 2 points, suppose I want to measure the this length of this particular table in my floor plan. So, I can just go inside, I can just drag it up like this, and I can see it's like 3 feet 9 inch around. So this you can use just for measuring the distance between 2 points inside your 2D mode. So you can use ruler to just identify the distance between 2 points. It's very simple, very easy. Yeah.
So you just basically click on ruler and just drag it on from one point to another and you're done.
Yeah, correct.
I hope that was clear, Manu. All right, we'll wait for a couple of more seconds for any questions. Right now, we just covered how to create a floor plan, how to trace a floor plan from an existing image, and how to complete it, how to add walls of different thicknesses. Yeah, adding doors and windows before you finally go on to editing your design in 3D mode. And I think we can move on, Pradyum. There are no further questions.
Okay. So the next part of our webinars today. Just a second. I think we have one more question.
I think we're going to have another question from Ajay. Hi, Ajay. Guys, just let's wait a few seconds to take this question and then we'll move ahead. So Ajay is asking that they get plans from architects in feet and inches, and total plan can be converted in millimeters. Okay.
Yeah, Ajay, in this case, it will be fairly simple. So what you have to do is what you have to do is just import the image of the floor plan in your in the same way that I have shown here. So I just quickly show you again. So basically, what you can do. So suppose I'm just showing you how you can do this. Suppose this is your floor plan which you got in feet and inches. So you can just define the scale here in feet inches as well. I think you can just change the dimensions to millimeter. It's fairly simple. Now it's converted to millimeter directly. You don't I think in Neo it's very easy to do this. If you have a floor plan in feet inches, import that floor plan in feet inches as I've shown you here, and just when you back in Canvas, you just change this to millimeter or meter if you want. So automatically everything just goes to millimeter. You can see the dimensions here are millimeter. You can just see the wall thickness also in millimeter now. Automatically gets converted all the values in millimeter. Yeah. So no complicated steps as we have in AutoCAD. So you have to change the unit dimensions and then you have to just maybe sometime define the scale again. And it's also not that easy to define the scale again in AutoCAD. So in Neo, you just have to click choose as your default unit. I think that will answer your question.
We have another question from Nikita. She's asking about multiple heights in the wall. Is it possible to have multiple heights in wall?
Yeah, right now, uh, you cannot create variable height. So, for example, if you choose if you want two particular walls of different height, and you specify any height to a particular wall, for example, as in this case, we're having all walls of uh, 10 feet. But if you change the wall height to 11 feet, all my walls will automatically get changed the wall height to 11 feet. For example, this also begins 11 feet. So right now, variable height feature is not there in 2D while you're doing 2D of your floor plan, but we have various workarounds. So by which you can achieve the design that you want. So suppose you're making a duplex, you can use wall dock or ceiling dock cube based on your need, and you can create a variable height in your design. So there are three options depending on your use cases. You can use doorways. Sometimes doorways will work for you for getting variable heights. Sometimes you can use ceiling dock cube or wall dock cube. Suppose you have two rooms and one and in a single floor plan. Just for this case, for example, if I have this complete this space of suppose a 20 feet wall height and ceiling height, and this two rooms and bathrooms are of 10 feet ceiling height. So in this case, just taking this as example, I can show you how you can do this. So for example, just first I can just make the wall height to 20 feet for all my rooms. So doing this will make the wall height to be 20 feet for all the rooms. But as I mentioned, suppose the use case is like my rooms and bathrooms only have a height of 10 feet, but my common space like kitchen and this living space have a wall height of 20 feet, and these rooms have a wall height of 10 feet. So what I can do in this case, so I will you can see in 3D what I will just do. I will just go to ceiling plan mode. I will use a ceiling dock cube. I'll just place it here. I can just make its height to be like 10 feet. Now I can just resize it. I can clone it again for this bedroom. I can just use the resize tool again, clicking, again Control C, Control V you can use, or you can use clone button. Both will work. So there's a shortcut to just clone your object is Control C and Control V. This is the industry standard. So I can just as you can see, so if I see in this case, I wanted my living space to be double heighted, so which is double heighted right now, 20 feet wall height. But my rooms, you can see, are single heighted, like 10 feet wall height, and bathrooms are also 10 feet wall height. So in this way, by using, but it depends from scenario to scenario. Suppose my living room have only this. Suppose I just tell you one more case, one more situation. I only have this space to be double heighted, and these space is like single heighted. So in this case, also I can use ceiling dock cube, but if suppose half of the single room, half of the room is double heighted and half room is single heighted, but a double story. So I can use in that case wall dock cube there. So we have a last session of webinar where we have shown you how we can achieve double height in your floor plan. When Because right now variable wall height feature is not there in directly in 2D, but we have workarounds for each and every scenarios. So you will not be getting blocked because of that. So you can create double heights, and it's fairly simple also. You can use the cubes and just resize it, and it's very simple. So there's nothing that you cannot make, but definitely you will be adding this feature in future, so that will enhance your experience in a better way. So I think that answers your question.
All right. I hope, Nikita, that was clear. We have a couple of more questions that we will take these final questions up and then we'll move on to the next part. So Manu Gupta is asking, can we draw a floor plan manually? Can you please give us an example on this? So Manu, when we started off this webinar, Pratyum actually uploaded an existing floor plan image and he traced the floor plan that you see right now on the screen manually, right? All you have to do is use the upload your floor plan from the right hand side. There's a button on the top right hand side. You can upload an image and you can trace the floor plan over it using the wall tool. So we will share the webinar recording with you after this session. You can go over it as many times as you need, or you can reach out to us on chat support and we will help you with any other floor plan issues that you might be having, right? And Mr. Ajay Mitra is asking whether we can import DWG files. That would be very helpful. So Ajay, I'll let Pradyum take this, but for now, Neo only accepts .jpg and .png formats. Pradyum, am I right?
Yes, Rohit. So for now, you can convert your AutoCAD files into JPG image format. It's fairly simple. You can export it into PDF, then you can convert from PDF to JPG image format file, or you can just directly, AutoCAD have the option to just directly export the floor plan into image file. So right now, definitely we are working on a feature, but in future you will definitely be seeing the feature by which you will be able to import an AutoCAD file directly into the canvas. But right now you have to convert it into image file first. And the benefits of this is also very huge, and it's fairly simple also. As I've shown you, I've just imported a 2 BHK floor plan from which I have created an AutoCAD, and I've converted that into a image file, and I've traced the complete floor plan in front of you in just 5 to 7 minutes. So it will not take much time for you to trace the walls. even in this, you can see I have two type kind of wall thickness here in this in this floor plan. So I have used wall thickness from settings so that I don't have to change individual wall thickness manually when I trace the floor plan. So this saves me a lot of time. Almost 50% of the time of mine is saved by this only. So I think it's fairly simple right now also to trace the floor plan, but definitely we'll be adding the feature to import AutoCAD file in future. So it's already there in our roadmap, and you'll be getting, you'll be seeing this in Neo very soon.
All right. Thanks, Pradyum. So we have one last question from Nikita. She's asking, how do we work in the case of mezzanine floor? Nikita, this question is kind of straying from the topic that we're trying to touch today. So I will share with you a YouTube video right here in chat and in the Q&A section that covers how you can add a second floor or an intermediate floor between two floors, right? Using shapes, basically wall dot cube and ceiling dot cubes. You can have a look at the video. And if you still have any questions on adding a mezzanine floor, you can reach out to us on chat support, which is right there on the bottom right hand side of the screen, the pink widget. You can reach us over there and we'll help you out with that. I hope that helps.
And also, Nikita, we have in our last webinar shown all the scenarios for getting the double height, like whatever your use case is. We have covered that scenario in our last webinar. I will ask Rohit, I think, or we will share that particular recording of that particular webinar to you after this session so that you can have a look at it. Also, we have shared some very useful tips in that particular webinar session. Uh, Regarding designing the custom furniture and shelves. I think that will really help you while you work on Neo in future. So definitely we will share you that particular recording after the session. So can you move ahead, Rohit?
Yeah, let's move on to the next section.
Okay, so next section is about how you can quickly use inspiration to create the design of your as per your floor plan. So right now we have some tips, some trick by which you can just directly drag and drop the inspiration as a complete 3D model, and you can set it as per your room layout very quickly, and you can just, it's just for basically creating the initial concept of the client for a particular room very quickly and getting a render within 15-20 minutes. So normally if you use traditional softwares and you want to create a bedroom design from a scratch from an inspiration that you got from Pinterest, it almost to take you 1 or 1.5 day to get that done. But in Neo, if you use Neo's inspiration and you have a flow plan, you want to show it to a client how that inspiration is going to look in his particular room dimension or in your client's room layout. So you can do that in Neo very quickly. I will just show you how it can be done within 15-20 minutes, and you can get a render output, photorealistic render output within minutes. So first quickly, I will just import the floor plan of the room, which I just want to show you. Suppose let's use this particular room to just show as an example how we can do this. So right now I'm just going to design the 3D of this particular room as per as with one of Neo's inspiration, which is my favorite. So I will just quickly show you. So again, I will just enter 12 feet here, the distance between these 2 points, and it's done. So I can just go and edit property. I can just increase the opacity of it, 0.8. Yeah, I can just rotate it also as per my need. So it's also, I can use this or I can use the slider also to rotate it. Now let's choose an inspiration. So I will just search bedroom here. Let's browse for the design. Okay. These are so we have I think around more than 500 plus inspirations in our Neo inspiration catalog, and we are regularly, my team is working really hard to add more and more to this list daily. So I think this looks good, or I think this looks better to me. I will choose this. So first I will just shortlist all the products. So I will just shortlist add to project. So now all the products are shortlisted. So I can just search again for that inspirations. Yeah. So I will just add this inspiration. Okay, sorry, I have to go back to floor plan mode while so I was in background plan mode. So you have to choose floor plan mode first. Sorry for that. So we have to just go there again. Yeah, this was our inspiration. Yeah, so you can see. Yeah, so you can just place it in your canvas wherever you want. It will take a few seconds to load. So now I will just rearrange the layout as per my floor plan layout. So I will just delete these walls. So so I can just move this doors and windows as per my floor plan layout, bedroom layout. Yeah, so I can just place a door here. I can just click resize, and in my case, it's 3 feet width door. So I have the wardrobe here and curtains on the opposite side in my floor plan. So I can just quickly use the arrows, rotate key. So you can click on select the object, click on rotate button, or you can just select the object and click on E for elephant. You can get the rotation UI. So yeah, I can just place it. I don't have the side tables in my layout, so I won't. I will be deleting them because they are not useful for me. Okay, I can just place this curtain here. I will just resize it quickly as per my layout. And I think I have to rotate it because see, you can see I can just drag and drop the walls, very simple in Neo. So there's one more door here. So what I will quickly do, first I will resize this wardrobe because this is not as per my, yeah. So you have to just, so I think this door is of lesser thickness. You can just select the door, make the thickness less. Yeah, I think this looks good now. This looks good to me. Okay, so this chair is not required. I have to reposition the bed again. Yeah, I think this is okay. One more do we have here. So I will just quickly move this door here. Yeah. Yeah, I think we have now the space of a table. Sorry, just writing text. Yeah, so I think I can choose from those options. I can use, so as you guys can see, there are some furniture which are missing as per my bedroom layout in the inspiration. I can just use a quick search feature inside the new, and I can just drag and drop it wherever I want to be placed. Yeah, it's fairly simple, very easy. So I can just place this in 3D mode. I can just search for chair. Chair. I can just apply the filter. So I can just use. I think I like the first one only. This looks better. Just drag and drop, rotate. Yeah, I think. Okay, so this looks good now in 2D. Doors are placed, curtains are there. Side, yeah, I think TV unit is missing here. So yeah, we have a TV unit here also. I can just search for TV unit. You can apply the filter TV unit. Okay, this one looks good. I think I can just shortlist it for my reference, and I can just drag and drop it. Okay. So I will just quickly switch to 3D. I think so. As you guys can see, it was fairly simple. I think it took me hardly 4 to 5 minutes to just come readjust the layout of the inspiration as per my bedroom layout. And now we will just do some enhancements in 3D mode and in ceiling plan mode. So just to make it uh, perfect for render, for render ready for the render. So I will just quickly show you how you can do this. So we just go back to 2D mode again. I can just take a look at ceiling also. So I think we can quickly set this up also. This is a ceiling is already there in the inspiration. So I can just readjust it. I can just go to 3D mode now. So I think this one is not, yeah, now it's looking good. The door is, yeah, flipped. Okay. I think we can delete this one. We can delete this one also because we can keep it, keep this here. Uh, can delete this. Yep, I think yeah. We can now do a bit of resizing. Yeah, I think just click resize. Resize it. And it's done. Yeah, I can just make this in center. Yeah, so you can see in a quite very much lesser, I think hardly 10 minutes, I think it's on the fair side. And I've just created the complete design from scratch in 3D. I think ceiling is on a, yeah, I can just bring back the ceiling. Yeah. So now I can just do some modification with respect to textures and placements of the object which I've added. Like this one is not, yeah, I can just move this. I can just move this a bit on the right side. I can just, yeah, I think this looks good now. You can just quickly resize the chair. Yeah. So you can quickly add staging accessories also by just doing a quick search in the catalog. I think I can add a shelf here. I think that is missing in this wall. So I can just quickly search for wall shelf. So I can browse through the design which I want. I think, yeah, I like this one. This one fits better in this space. Yeah. So now I can do some modification with respect to texture. So as I've already shortlisted the textures and all the products which I use in the inspiration initially. So you can see all the textures, flooring textures are already there. So I can just drag and drop this flooring. Well, now for setting up the tile for this flooring, I can just press shift button and do left mouse click to select the floor. You see that it is highlighted in pink color. Uh, so it's normally it looks like this. If you select it, it looks like this. So you can see the option of edit property at the top. So once you click here, so I can just uh, check this box to set to see the exact tile size. This is the number of tiles. So that means this texture is a kind of this flooring is a kind of a tile. So this is distributed in 13, something like 14 cross 14 in the x and y direction. But I don't want to deal with this. I want to set the exact tile size. I can just click on this box. So instead of doing hit and trial, I can just increase. Like just place your cursor here and just use up and down arrow keys to increase and decrease these values and see the light feedback in 3D. So I can just go in this one and I can just, yeah, I think this looks much better. Just click again. Yeah, yeah, this looks good. I can rotate and use offset also for example, if I want the tile to be in this pattern from this direction to this direction, I can rotate it to 90 degree or I can just face it back. I think 90 degree looks better. We will use that. Okay, so let's quickly see what is still pending. I think we can delete this product. It's not required. So quickly, I think this wall is missing the texture. So I will just go to shortlist section, which are already having all the textures as per the inspirations. So I just drag and drop this texture over to this wall. Flooring is set, ceiling is set, walls have all the texture. I think just I will do some modifications with respect to products also. I think this I can add this texture to this product and this white one here on the shutters. And similar way I can just add the white one and just to match my as these all these things as per my theme. So nothing should go out of my theme. In similar way I can just drag and drop this. So you guys can see it's fairly simple. I can readjust the tiling, like if I want to do a readjustment, I can just readjust the tiling as per my need. And if I want to rotate it, I think this, I don't like the way it was going. Yeah, now it looks better. Yeah, so I think we can also customize the texture of the chair. Yeah, I think, yeah, we can use this light pink velvet. Yeah, now just quickly resize the curtain. Let's uh, bring the window down a bit. Yeah, yeah, I think it looks much better. I think we can have some lamp over to study lamp. I think, yeah, so we can have this study lamp is there. Yeah. Yeah, so I think you guys can see my design is almost completed, almost. I think if you choose any inspiration from Pinterest and you create in some traditional softwares like 3ds Max or any other, if you use, it will take you more than a day or two to create this kind of complete 3D design. And this design is render ready, no light settings, nothing. Everything is just automatic. So every light elements by default have all the best light settings that is required as per my design. I can just reposition it better, just rotate this lamp. We can place a quick staging setting. We can place a laptop over to here. Yeah. And I think one or two books will make it a bit more better. Yeah, I think, yeah. So I think this completes my design. So I will just quickly set the view and fire a render for you guys, and then we can take up your questions. In the meanwhile, the render is going in background. So I think I like this view already. Yeah, I can just quickly, I think we can have some good light options. So one more light trick that I have shared in my last webinar. So we can just place in textures. I can just search for white light emitting material. I can just, yeah, we can just add it here just to give a better ambience overall from the exterior side in my render. Yeah, I think now I think we can use this toggles, but I think already my view is looking good to me. I can just quickly set up a sun feedback. Yeah, I think this looks good. Okay, so we will quickly save this view as view 1, and I will submit the render. So in the meanwhile, the render is submitted and it's processing here. So we can just go for a few questions here.
So I think Achay was trying to ask a question. Mr. Ajay wanted to know if we can know the sizes of the ready inspirations so that he can meet his customer expectations easier. You want to take that up, Pratim?
Yeah. So basically, as I've shown you here, I have just directly drag and drop the complete inspiration from the catalog. And this inspirations have some furniture missing. The size was different as per my bedroom layout. I have used my separate bedroom layout from my floor plan and I have just readjusted the walls and the furnitures based on my need, based on my bedroom layout in 2D mode, as you guys can see here. And this drag and drop wall, cloning the doors, resizing the doors, maybe like in my case, writing decks, TV unit, and chair was there, but that was not there in the inspiration. So I have just used a quick search feature in Neo catalog. So I just quickly search for a good chair design, for a writing text design, for a TV unit design. I have shortlisted all the products which I use in that particular inspiration, which include the textures which are there as per the theme. So I have just used those products and have added a texture and material which are already there for the theme. So I've already shortlisted the textures and materials for this particular inspiration. So I've used the same texture and material over to the products that I have added separately, like this writing desk, this chair. So I have added the textures and materials from the inspiration theme only. So this will no longer look like a different objects altogether. So this is the best part, that you can just shortlist the products also from the inspiration, and you can just drag and drop the inspiration. Because I have readjusted all the furniture, resized them, make as per my layout, replaced them, added some new things, new stuff, clone things, and all this thing I have done. I think within 5 to 6 minutes, hardly 10 minutes I took, and I have just made a complete design out of an inspiration from Neo catalog as per my bedroom layout. So I'm just showing you the same thing. You can use a bedroom as per your bedroom layout. You can create, you can use new inspiration, and you can just readjust that new inspiration as per your bedroom layout. Fairly simple, fairly easy, and get the render within 15 to 20 minutes. If you see this, if I do this choosing an inspiration from Pinterest and then creating a 3D of it as per the inspiration in traditional softwares, it takes me hardly 1.5 or 2 days. And I will show the render of the design after it's get completed. I think it's already 25% completed. So this is, I think, this wasn't possible earlier with any other tool available in the market. This can only happen in Neo. So I hope this answers the query. In the meanwhile, we will wait for more questions. So, Mr. Ajay, when you import your inspiration from the inspiration library. So when you add that to a canvas, it is like a 3D model of that particular room. You can use ruler, or you can click on the object and you will get the dimensions of each and everything. But the point is, you want to use that inspiration to design the bedroom of your client as per his layout. So you can think like this bedroom was my client's layout, but this was not as per my inspiration. So I have used inspiration. I just show you quickly which what was the inspiration initially, which I have used. Like so, I have used. I show you. So I have used the inspiration of. So this was the inspiration I have used. I have made it readjust with this layout. I've moved the furnitures, I moved the objects, I've added some new objects as per my layout, and I have just recreated the complete design as per my layout in this particular thing that you can see. So if I just show you what exactly I have done, so if I just move this plan again to this, yeah. So this was the inspiration which was there in the catalog. Yeah, this was the inspiration which was there, and we have converted this inspiration. The layout is bigger, the objects are different. Some objects are there in my design, some objects are not there. Like I have the curtain, I have this window, but I have only this inspiration. I only have this one has only one door. I have three doors. This have wardrobe. Luckily, I have wardrobe. But if this inspiration don't have wardrobe, I can just use quick search. I can just search for anything. Like I want wardrobe, I can just search for wardrobe, and I can get fairly quick, simple results of wardrobe here. So you can just drag and drop it. And because I have shortlisted all the textures and everything, all the products which I used in that particular inspiration, I can customize that particular product using these textures to match my theme of the inspiration. So this I have done. So I have created this design to this. So you can think that you can easily do it within 15-20 minutes as per your client's layout. You can use any bedroom inspiration and you can convert it as per your client layout into any design that you want, into any layout that you want. So basically, you just have to just use dragging the doors up, uh, playing around with the walls. It's fairly easy in Neo. You can just clone multiple products. You can use the feature quick search. So all this is possible because I can play around with the walls very much easily. I can reiterate it very easily. I can use the quick search feature of the catalog, and I can just use the shortlist feature of the Neo, so that I can just quickly drag and drop the desired textures over to it. So dragging and changing the textures is very simple in Neo. So all these features have made this possible. So I hope that answers your query. So we will wait for more questions. Okay, so you guys can see it's hardly 3 to 4 minutes, and my render is already completed. So I can just download the render and show it to you. So you guys can see the render which I got. So I just quickly show you the view which I have set and the render which I have got. So this was the view which I have set, and this is the render, and it's done complete in less than 15-20 minutes. So you can see imagine the power the Neo gives you, that this lamp, this all this textures material which I've added, and this amazing looking room. You can just show it to you can I have created this, use this inspiration as per my own layout. I have readjusted all the things, ceiling, objects, everything I have readjusted. I've added textures with object which were missing textures, and it's done in like 10 minutes. It took me around 10 minutes. So you guys can also do it like that 10-15 minutes if you use Neo regularly. And it's fairly simple, fairly easy. It has the capability. It's just that you have to just keep it using again and again so that you can just get a hands-on experience of the each tool, and you get exactly how to use each tool in a perfect way, so that you can complete your tasks in a fairly shorter time. So I hope you guys like the render of this, and the render time. It took almost 2 to 3 minutes to get this quality of render. So this is the magic of cloud rendering, which was not possible earlier. So any other question do you guys have? So before we wrap up our session, I think I am not missing anything, Rohit.
Yeah, I think you've covered pretty much everything. Um, just I would request the viewers to share any feedback on the amazing demo that Pradyum has just given us, and on the render that we have. If you have any final questions for us about this topic, please let us know. And if it's not relevant to floor plans, you can just reach out to me at rohit.mohan@foyr.com, or you can reach out to us via chat support, which is the pink widget on the right hand side, bottom right hand side of the screen on Neo. Pradyum is pointing it out right now. We're live 24/5. That means 24/7 from Monday to Friday. You can reach out to us and we will solve any issue that you have within 24 hours. All right. Thanks, Ajay. Thanks for your feedback. We really enjoyed having you here. Rupa says that she missed the part on adding the wall outside the wall for extra light. I think that's a pretty quick thing that Pradim can show us. Rupa will just cover it in a second. Just hold on.
So I just quickly show you. So I use wall tool to create a wall like this outside the window. Go to 3D, just search for, I think it's already, the term is already there. So you can just, I'll show you, just search for white light emitting material, and you can just drag and drop it. And yeah, that's it, it's done.
This is a pretty nifty lighting trick that Pradyum had shared with us during the last webinar as well. Just add a wall outside the window and add the white light emitting material, and you're good to go. Thank you, Rupa. If you have any more questions, please let us know. If there are no more questions, we can wrap up this session and we will send you the recording within 6 to 7 hours of ending this webinar. I think we don't have any more questions. All right. Thanks a lot, guys, for joining in. Hope to see you next time, next week. And have a great day.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.